Welcome to Real Grief, Real Healing with Mindy Corporon. I am your host, Mindy. A friend of mine told me in early 2018 that she saw a vision of me with a microphone in front of me. I laughed at the time and said, "I don't see any microphones in my future." Less than a year later, I was recording my first podcast on this show. I'm not going to say, "I hope you enjoy this podcast." My podcast is not truly meant to be enjoyed. Real grief, real healing is just that, real and raw. I provide you an opportunity to learn and share in the grief others are experiencing, and then we share how they are healing or perhaps not. Grief changes each of us in some way. Many of my guests have been encouraged to open new businesses, start foundations, and in general, work to make the world around us a better place. Grief is universal. How we decide to move onward, seeking healing, is individual. A significant part of my healing comes through the courageous kindness actions of others. As you listen to my podcasts, you will hear how you can give and receive courageous kindness too. Together, we are better.
Welcome to Real Grief, Real Healing with Mindy Corporon, taking a deep dive into the reality of the difficulty grief brings and offering insight into the healing available to each of us. Today, episode 28, 7 Days, Make a Ripple, Change the World. And now your host, Mindy Corporon.
Hi friends, this is Mindy Corporon. Welcome to Real Grief, Real Healing with Mindy Corporon, myself. I am always excited to talk to you, and I enjoy the process of determining what I might be speaking to you about, like what might be my topic of the day. And if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, you'll know that sometimes I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about up until the time the microphone turns on and it's time for me to record. But I have known for several weeks what I'm going to be speaking to you about today, and I'm so excited to talk about it. I'm going to present to you, I have this open platform to speak about 7 days, make a ripple, change the world. That is the name of an experience that is produced by the Faith Always Wins Foundation. 7 Days is broadly known in the Kansas City area, the Kansas City region, but we're quickly becoming known regionally, nationally, and internationally. And I'll tell you why, the international part, in just a few minutes when I get to that piece. So if you're totally new to 7 Days, this podcast is for you, because I'm going to go in depth into why, what, how, and when. And if you're not new to 7 Days, you're just going to sit back and relax and enjoy getting a really in-depth look at what's coming your way in April 2021. On April 13th, 2014, my dad, William Corporon, and my son, Reed Underwood, and Terry Lamano, they were all murdered by a white supremacist. And that spurred something in me. Now, it was shattering. There were so many emotions and feelings that you may not hear me speak of just right now in this podcast, because I'm going to jump to the joy of what we created. We created the Faith Always Wins Foundation, and the Faith Always Wins Foundation promotes dialogue for the betterment of our world through kindness, faith, and healing. That's the 501c3. Well, 7 Days was created. Again, the full name is 7 Days, Make a Ripple, Change the World. And so when I call it just 7 Days, that's just the short name for it, and it's easy to throw around and say 7 days this, 7 days that. So 7 Days was created, and the first one did happen in April of 2015. And now upon us is the 7th year of 7 Days. And we decided, and I say we because I do not do any of this alone, and I never have. It's always been a group of caring individuals who have had passion, compassion, empathy, and a desire to create something that educates people about interfaith understanding, create awareness about how we can be kinder to one another, and create opportunities for us to change our knowledge and our mindset and our behaviors. And that is what 7 Days does. We create opportunities that challenge you, but that also give you a path to change your mindset and your behaviors in life. I know that I have. I just have to take a little aside. I had a fantastic weekend last weekend with my son Lucas on the campus at the University of Arkansas. It was a little bit of a mom's weekend, and it was amazing for me and him, and I just relished every minute. And I bring this up because he said to me at some point, "Mom, you're always so kind and you're so nice." And I said, "Well, I'm glad you think so. And I really do hope that I portray that to you, to him, my own son." But I remember growing up, I wasn't that nice girl. Like, people didn't say, "Oh, Mindy, she's so sweet." They really didn't. I'm bossy. I'm organized. I'm a go-getter. I'm an achiever. I tell people what to do, when to do, how to do it, all of that. And sometimes Lucas is at the end of that and he hears it too, but he was just being so nice to me by saying that I'm so sweet and kind. And I said, I appreciate that. But what I've learned since April 13th of 2014 is that it takes patience and understanding to be kind. And if we don't have patience and understanding at some point in a day, just slow down and breathe. It's hard to be kind to yourself, and it's extremely difficult to be kind to someone else. So let's get into, I'm so excited to share this with you, how you can participate in 7 Days Make a Ripple Change the World 2021. Our opening day will be Love Day. And Love Day is going to be held on April 13th. And you may be thinking, wow, how are you doing that, Mindy and your family? Why are you hosting an event on the 13th? Well, I can tell you from experience that if I am not extremely busy and have something to do on the 13th, I'm a wreck. I've done both over the last 7 years. I've had a kindness walk to attend, or I've had memorials to attend, or something to do, and then I've also had nothing to do. And the day that we had nothing to do, the three of us, myself and Len, my husband, and Lucas, we got really irritable with one another. We got angry with each other. There wasn't anything on the schedule, and we just don't do that well. And we didn't do it well on April 13th. So in our grieving, we've realized that we need to have something planned on a day that is a momentous day. And you can take that for whatever you need to take it as, if that helps you plan something for your loved ones or a memorial or something to remember someone by. The days leading up to the day of the tragedy, the days leading up to my dad's birthday or Reet's birthday or other holidays, those are the days when I go a little nutty and crazy and start to almost hyperventilate. And it's the day of that I need to be planning for, and I want to have something to do. So I'm so excited to have Love Day on April 13th, 2021. And you may be wondering, how did we name it Love Day? Well, let me take a step into the 7 themes of 7 days. So 7 days has 7 themes, and they are love, discover, others, connect, you, go, onward. And I say them in that order because for the first 6 years, maybe 5, they were in that order. Each experience was in that order. And this year, they're not in that order. They're in a different order. But we decided it doesn't matter what order they're in. Those are the 7 themes, and each of them have their own experiences. So on April 13th, 2021, we're going to have Love Day, and it's a celebration of youth in the Kansas City area and the Kansas City community. And we highlight teens making ripples of kindness. Now, here's where I want to stop for just a minute. If you're not in Kansas City and you're wondering, well, how do we do Love Day? You can have Love Day. You can share love and kindness with people that are around you all the time. You could share extra love with your family members or your colleagues. If you're not in your office at this time, you could send them some cards and make sure that they receive them on April 13th. If you are in an office with someone, you could leave a Post-it note on their desk, or you could take flowers in on April 13th and you could have a card that says, "Today's Love Day with 7 days, and I want to give you some kindness." You could pay it forward to someone by buying their coffee, like maybe the person behind you in line at a coffee place or an eating establishment. You could buy their meal or their coffee or something like that. So you could offer love to someone on Love Day, making it your own Love Day. I get asked every year, will 7 days go national? You know what? It might. I don't know. If our planning and our board and our volunteers can make it happen, I'm sure it will happen. But I've always felt like when the time is right, someone outside of Kansas City will say, we want to adopt 7 days and we want to bring that to our own community. And when that happens, we will be happy to help support in that area. So what we're doing is we're celebrating youth. And wherever you are, I want you to do that as well. So consider youth in your area. You know, the kids are still going to be in school. Even if they're hybrid, they're still going to school that day. And so you might want to celebrate students by maybe you make a donation to their library, or maybe you buy pizza for someone's class, or maybe what you do is you tell all the teachers that you know that how much you love and appreciate them for teaching students, because those teachers have had a real nightmare of a year, haven't they? They have just had a very difficult year. Not that any of the rest of us haven't, but I pray for those teachers all the time. They have a special heart no matter what, and then to be teaching people during a pandemic. So that's a good group for you to show love to, our teachers on Love Day. What we're doing in particular is we're creating an experience for you to join. You'll be able to join it on YouTube. It'll be a YouTube premiere, and our YouTube channel is 7 days. It's a 7 days YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook. You can find us that way as well. But we're going to be featuring the first ever Ripple of Kindness Award winner. So we have a Ripple of Kindness Award winner that I got the opportunity to interview, and I'm not going to give it away. I'm trying not to give away the pronoun. So you don't know what gender they are. But suffice it to say, many people all over really our region and maybe even America will know this person. And this person is a kind person and has been a kind person for years. And we are celebrating this person with a kindness award. We're also going to feature 4 students who wrote essays about a kind action that they did, and then they wrote an essay about it. So some of them have been involved in a kind action in particular for years, and some of them created a kind action just for this activity, and then they've all written an essay. They are seniors in high school, these 4 that we're selecting. They are seniors in high school, and they each are going to win a $1,000 scholarship to their school of choice because they are a winner in our kindness essay competition. So they will also be featured. They're being interviewed, and that will be part of the production on Love Day. And then if you come to our website, and I bet when we post this podcast, I will put the graphics of the buttons there for you to see. So let me explain the buttons. We reach out to high school students and art students in particular, students who feel like they can create art, and even some who think maybe they can't create art. But we get art back in all forms, and they have to, when they respond with this application, they have to have created art for 8 different designs. They have to create art for love, discover, others, connect, you, go, onward, and the 7 days theme. So just the 7 days ripple. And so we have 8 button artists, and they will all be featured as well on Love Day. So we're turning the camera, the focus, the shining the light on youth. I heard this when I was a kid, and I know I say it now, and I've heard other adults say it, that it's the next generation. The next generation will make a difference. The next generation will do this, and the next generation will do that. Well, the next generation wants us to be kinder to one another. And we're allowing the next generation to show what that means. And so we're featuring these 4 essay winners, and we're featuring 8 artists who are going to show us how to depict kindness in our world on Love Day, April 13th. And you can register again for everything. It's all virtual. There's no in-person attendance at any of these. And you can register at give7days.org. I hope you join us for our Love Day. Our next day is Discover. Our Discover Day is going to be April 15th. And we try to come up with, well, what would someone want to discover? So Discover Day is about finding somebody, finding something, understanding it more than you did before. Maybe understanding it and you've never understood it before. So it could be something completely new, or it could be something that you have an interest in, but you don't know much about. We are using our Discover Day to tour a Hindu temple, and we're going to show you a chef who is cooking an Indian dish, or 2, I think. And we're going to also show you how to discover the life of a teen in India and how that life of the teen compares to teenagers in the United States. Again, do you see a theme here? There are students involved. Each of our committees is made up of 1 to 2 adults and 2 students, 2 high school students. And these high school students are part of what we call a Kindness Youth Leadership Team. And we were very blessed in 2020. We received a grant from the Hall Family Foundation. And the Hall Family Foundation, the Hall family are the people who started Hallmark. So even if you're not from the Kansas City area, but you've heard of Hallmark, the Hall Family Foundation has provided us a grant, and it's helping us create and sustain, if you will, the Kindness Youth Leadership Team. So there are 2 members of the Kindness Youth Leadership Team on every committee. And the Discover Committee, those 2 teens are going to be interviewing a teenager or 2 from India, and they're going to be comparing notes on what is it like to be a teenager in America versus what is it like to be a teenager in India. And I'm excited to see that. We're going to discover that. We're also showcasing for you a chef preparing Indian dishes, and she had an audience. We hand-selected, I think, 5 or 6 people to go and watch. They were all socially distanced and wore their masks, but she cooked for them, and her name is Chef Jyoti, and that's just going to be really fun to watch and see what she prepares for them. And then we also have recorded a Hindu temple, I would call it a tour, an informational tour. So we didn't just get this off a shelf from a library. This is all personal. I walked around a Hindu temple in Shawnee, Kansas, with my friend Sunaina Dumala. So Sunaina Dumala is Hindu, and she's also been featured on one of my podcasts. Unfortunately, Sunaina's husband, Srinivas Kuchabola, was murdered in February of 2017 by a man filled with hate. The man yelled at Srinu and his friend Alok, and he said, "Get out of my country." And that man was escorted out of the restaurant, but then he came back with a gun. And he shot at Alok, and he shot at Srinu, and he murdered Srinu. That is how I met Sunaina Dumala, and since then we've become very good friends, close friends. She calls me her Akka, which is her older sister. That's a name for older sister, and I call her my Shali when I remember to call her that, because it's harder for me to remember that word in Hindu. She speaks in the language of Telugu. That's her language. So Sunaina and her committee, she has a committee with another adult and 2 students, And Sunaina and I walked around the Hindu temple. So when you are going to see the tour of the Hindu temple, again, it's not just some, something off a shelf. We put it together ourselves. Okay, that's April 15th. I don't even know if I told you the date, but April 15th is Discover Day. Again, you don't have to be anywhere physically, but you can click in and log in from wherever you are and take part of Discover Day. And what you could do on your own is take time to discover something or someone new. April 17th is our You Day. You may be wondering, why do we have you as a featured theme? And I will tell you, if you know me, it's all about healing. If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of other people. We're going to provide hands-on activities that will help you focus, and it'll focus you on taking care of you, your mind, body, and soul. And I have to tell our podcast listeners that RCA, who we know her, Reverend Cynthia Alice Anderson, is going to be featured on You Day. She's going to be providing information about meditation. And so I'm excited that I'm kind of connecting the dots between Experience of the Soul and Reverend Cynthia, and then also my work with 7 Days. So there will also be someone who's featured doing yoga, and I believe it's going to be chair yoga. And I say that because so many of us are sitting in our chairs day in and day out, watching things online and doing work online, that we need to remember to stretch. And so we're focusing on how can you take care of you? And that is our You Day, April 17th. Again, 2 adult chairs and 2 students, high school students, have put all of this together, and we hope that you join us. Let's get to our Go Day. Our Go Day is going to be April 19th. And it's called Go because we liked the theme Go in general. Go is to get outside and maybe go to the zoo or go to a park. Just get up off of your chair now, out of your home if you can, even with a mask on, and go do something. Well, our Go Day has always been our interfaith panel or our interfaith workshop, and it's going to be the same again this year. I'm really excited to let you know that the Islamic Center of Johnson County is our virtual host for our Go Day. They are helping us with some educational pieces for and about Islam and Ramadan, because we will be in Ramadan at that time. And we're going to engage in an interfaith workshop and a panel, and we have local representatives from 4 diverse faiths. So we've had these interfaith panels in the past, and every single time the feedback is, can you do that again? When will you do that again? These are interactive. Some of the days that we're featuring, so for instance, Love Day is going to be a premiere on YouTube, but let's talk about Go Day. Go Day is going to be live interaction on a Zoom call. So when you go in to register, some of these things will just have already been pre-recorded, and then 2 of them will be live, and this is one of them. It'll be live, and you can engage in the chat on Zoom, and you will be able to go into a small breakout room and have a conversation with either someone who is Muslim or Jewish or Christian, and I'm not sure, Buddhist, I believe. I think we have Buddhist as one of our other faiths. So April 19th is our Go Day. Again, you can register at give7days.org. Our Connect Day, for any men listening, you cannot attend. That's not very nice, is it? I'm not being very kind. Our Connect Day is for women. Our Connect Day just this year is for women. It is not always just for women, but this year we decided for women to connect and have a networking session. So our title of this says, Join Women in the Community as we connect over tea and networking to make our world a better place through kindness. And when we say community, we don't mean just the Kansas City area. I know I have someone joining from Houston, and I believe I have someone joining from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and someone joining from Ontario, Canada. So women, we tend to be the nurturers. We're not always. There are men who are nurturing. I'm not just saying that you don't nurture, guys, so don't get too upset with me. But sometimes women make it happen. And you know what? If you listen to my last podcast with Dr. Izzeldine Abulaish, Power to the Women, he went on and on about women and how important we are. I felt so empowered after listening to Dr. Abulaish. I think you will be empowered if you join Connect. Now, let me give you one more caveat. Not only is Connect Day for women only, we're only taking 75 attendees. You're thinking to yourself, oh shoot, can I still register? Well, frankly, I'm not sure if you can or not, but I want you to go try to register because you might be able to still get in. The reason we limited the number is because it's going to be live on Zoom, and we're going to have breakout sessions. And we wanted the rooms to be fairly small and so that the women could really connect with one another. So if this is the first you're hearing of it, just go ahead and try to log in and register and see if it's available. And if you're not able to register, but you want to join, and we have people that want to join at another date, maybe what we'll do is host another Connect Day. So this is new to us to host it in this fashion. One of my Faith Always Wins board members and a dear friend, Alana Mueller, will be hosting the networking session, and she is a professional at this. She's a professional at connecting people. So Connect Day is April 20th. If you're not able to join us for Connect Day because 1, you're not a female, or 2, it's already full, figure out how you can connect on Connect Day. Connect with someone from the past that you haven't connected with from a long time ago. And I always think about your high school teachers. Who are your high school teachers that you love and adore, but you haven't reached out to them in the past? Or maybe they're college professors, or maybe it's a pastor. Reach out to someone and tell them thank you. Okay, we're moving on to Others Day. Frequently, I get asked about the theme others. So we all have someone or many someones in our life who are others. They're people that we don't usually communicate with. We use the word others because we want to just shine a light on that. You know, a friend of mine who's Jewish said, I feel like an other. And I said, well, we use the word others because we want to shine a light on that and we want you to not feel like an other. But that's why we use the word others. So when you have a t-shirt that says others, or you wear our sticker or button that says others, you're letting people know that you're welcoming people who typically are thought of as others, and pretty soon they can become a friend. Our Others Day is going to feature Dr. Izzeldine Abulaish. He's also going to be in conversation with Pastor Adam Hamilton and Rabbi Arthur Nimetoff. These two gentlemen, Pastor Adam Hamilton and Arthur Nimetoff, are local to Kansas City, but they are giants in their world of either Christianity or Judaism. And if you haven't had the opportunity, please listen to 1 or 2 of my podcasts with Dr. Izzeldine Abulaish, and that's going to be our Others Day. Onward. Why do we call a theme Onward? What is your onward? Are you thinking to yourself, what's she talking about? I don't know what she means by onward. When you've had something bad happen in your life or something disconcerting, I mean, even just some road rage in the road, and you get upset with somebody, or you get an ice cream cone and you spill it, all the way to tragedy. What's your onward? How do you pick up your britches and move onward? And that's what the Faith Always Wins Foundation and 7 Days Make a Ripple Change the World have been for me. They are my onward. It's how I honor Terry Lamano, my dad, and my son. It's how I honor them. It's how I carry on their legacy. It's important to me that I reach out to people and help them understand that kindness overshadows hate all the time. But it's up to us to do it. It's up to each one of us to shine a light on the kindness. And sometimes you have to be courageous. If you are in a store and you see someone that, so because I'm a Christian and a white girl, I'm going to use this example, okay? If I see a Muslim woman with a hijab, before April 13th, I would not have gone up to them and talked to them. But now, since April 13th of 2014, I will smile openly. I will say hello. I might even engage with them on what they might be cooking for dinner. And if it's during Ramadan, I will let them know that I understand it is Ramadan, the holiest time of year for people who are Muslim. So that is finding your onward, is finding out how to be kind to others, because it comes back to you. It fills your heart. It fills my heart. Our Onward Day is April 25th. It's also virtual, but it is a kindness walk. Now, I have to laugh a little bit about this. My dad and Reet, and I believe Terry, were not runners, so that's why we've never had a 5K. They just weren't runners. They were kind of leisurely people. My dad liked to swim, but we're not going to add swimming in April, I don't think. So we have a kindness walk, and you can walk 10 minutes, you can walk 20 minutes, you can walk an hour. We just want you to join us specifically on our Facebook page and show us that you are walking for kindness. If you register in time, which by the time you hear this podcast, it may be a little bit late, but we want you to register as quickly as possible. So as soon as this podcast is over, go register for the April 25th Kindness Walk, and we're going to try to get you your t-shirt and your mask. We'll also have some stickers in there for you and a postcard explaining all the themes and the days that I just talked about. Join us on April 25th for our Kindness Walk at give7days.org. Friends, I hope that you have enjoyed hearing all about 7 days. I hope that you can hear the joy in my voice, the love that I have for what we do and how we put these experiences on for all of you. If you want to register yourself for an activity and then register a friend, that is one act of kindness, and I know it would be appreciated. Have a great day, and thanks for listening. Friends, thanks so much for joining me today for this podcast of Real Grief, Real Healing with Mindy Corporon. If you want to dive deeper into how you might heal yourself or a friend, please pick up a copy of my book, Healing a Shattered Soul. Published on May 3rd, 2021, you can find my memoir anywhere books are sold. You will also find me in social media channels as Mindy Corporon. Take time to help yourself heal, accepting courageous kindness. Take time to heal another by giving courageous kindness. Together, we are better.
Real Grief, Real Healing is copyright 2021 to 2022, Mindy Corporon, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission. This podcast is a production of 818 Studios.